What's good? We back. It's your boy CJ Goodfellow. We back with the Boxing Clinic, and this is how we moving it. Boxing talk, you dig? And a little bit more longer videos today. I got time today for sure, but longer videos. Recent, and we getting in more detail about certain situations. And Danny Jacobs says, 100% sure in the rematch with Gennady Golovkin, he will beat him. And let's get into his comments that he told to PBC and Ring TV. And, I think he looked at the tape and he echoed in his mind, or to his trainer, Andre Rozier, or whoever was around him, what Kenny Porter said. And we talked about what Kenny Porter said back in March. I went out there for the Jacobs and Golovkin fight. I felt Jacobs still won the fight. But, politics of boxing, he had to be on the short end of the stick. And only 30 years old, he did well. I thought he was going to get knocked out about the 5th to 7th round. I thought Golovkin would knock him out. But he says the way to fight Golovkin is to pressure him from round 1 and push him back. And, that should have been the game plan in the first fight. But I think it wasn't the game plan in the first fight because they know Jacobs has been on the canvas and been knocked out in the amateurs and the pros. And it was pretty much, just survive the early rounds and then, when his steam wear off, put it on him late and start boxing a little bit later and or pressing a little bit later. And I think what Kenny said, he said, I was very disappointed, I'm paraphrasing, in Danny in that fight. He says Danny was just retaliating to what Gennady Golovkin was doing. And he means when Golovkin would punch him, Danny would retaliate. Danny never really led and really got aggressive with Golovkin. And that's what Kenny Porter said. And that's what I've been saying. That's how you beat Golovkin. You have to press the attack. And a guy like Canelo, I thought would have pressed the attack more on Golovkin as well and had a more convincing victory. But he did the same thing Danny Jacobs did, was box and move. And I thought Canelo wouldn't box and move because his feet wasn't that good. But his feet looked pretty good versus Gennady Golovkin. And Jacobs showed that he can box and move, but that's not his real bread and butter. Jacobs is an aggressive, athletic boxer, puncher. And that's what he needed to be to get a convincing victory and perhaps a knockout versus Golovkin back in March. And he knows now. He said, I need to press the fight from the beginning. He says Golovkin is 35 and you really can't teach an old dog new tricks. And he's right. Golovkin is what he is at this point. And I know Canelo and Jacobs is looking back at the tape and they left a lot on the table. Like Kenny Porter said, the father of Sean Porter, trainer of Sean Porter, boxing coach of Sean Porter, Jacobs should have pressed the attack more. And when Jacobs pressed the attack versus Golovkin, when he was going tit for tat with him, he was having success. When he was moving his hand speed was giving Golovkin all types of issues. And Golovkin would just put the earmuffs on and wait for Jacobs to smother or get out of range. And then he would come and attack way on the back end. And, and I know Jacob sat there, and I know Canelo sitting there watching the tape say, damn, I left a lot out there. I really did leave a lot out there. And the thing about it is, Danny Jacobs isn't the counterpuncher Canelo is. Canelo isn't the athletic boxer puncher Danny Jacobs is, but they do a lot of things well offensively, and Canelo defensively to have really convincingly took that fight if they had the confidence. I think they believed in the Golovkin power hype mentally. They really believed that. And, they both left out the ring and say the punching power wasn't as brutal as they thought it would be. And I think that really has changed Danny Jacobs' confidence level. You can see with Luis Arias, the confidence level was there. He was a little rusty. And I don't know who I would pick in the Danny Jacobs Triple G rematch. But I think Jacobs is on another level. But once you risk opening up and pressing more, you risk yourself to get knocked out. But we know Golovkin isn't the type of fighter that's going to trade with you, especially if you got some power. I mean, he's not going to punch with you. Let me rephrase that. He's not going to punch with you. And I think Danny Jacobs seen that. I think he would work up and down more with Golovkin. And he would really try to, knock Golovkin out. And I think a lot of people see the chinks in Golovkin armor and the flaws. And now everybody want to run to the buffet and try to be the first to beat him, I want to know where this confidence was at 2 or 3 years ago. I'm just going to keep it funky. Now that somebody like Jacobs laid the blueprint, rightfully so, now guys feel brave enough to hop in the ring with Golovkin. When he was out there catching body for body and putting bodies in body bags and sending them to the morgue in the ring, wasn't nobody, hollering for Golovkin. But Lara and Andrade said I would like to fight Golovkin, but at the end of the day, he wasn't active. And Andre Ward, those are only 3 fighters that I know was calling him out. Billy Joe Saunders started calling him out, right after the Danny Jacobs fight, you know what I'm saying? And but Danny's right, that's the right game plan to go. And I thought that's what Canelo would do. And I thought that's what Danny should have done going into that fight, was press the attack more. And he look. I said in the reaction video, I said he gonna look in that tape, or the review video, one of the two I did. I said that he's gonna look at that tape versus Gennady Golovkin. He gonna see he left a lot on the table there. He left a lot of opportunity on that table to really grasp and hold that fight. Now, first I was up in arms saying it was the biggest robbery. It was a big robbery. But when I look back on it, I said it was a close fight, and I can't call a close fight a robbery. But he says 100% sure he has smoked that Triple G. And that's how you feel. That's how you feel. I can see the confidence level, the demeanor, I could just see it in Danny Jacobs, the way he looks and talks. That Golovkin fight gave him a lot of confidence. He's going to be a tough out for anybody, in my opinion. Let me know what y'all think.